what's happening? The big question about real estate investing that I have always had is, Leonard, should I invest in single family houses, multi-family houses, or apartment? Hey, my name is Leonard Nwoteh and I'm a real estate investor. I've had the opportunity to buy a lot of single family houses and an apartment building. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the pros and cons of investing in single family houses or apartment. So make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to this channel for more real estate. Before I begin with the pros and the cons for single family houses or apartment investing, real estate is one of the best vehicles for financial freedom. Based on my research, I have found out that almost all the billionaires and millionaires own real estate. The real estate actually produces them cash flow, passive income, as well as increase their wealth. So let's jump to the first point. So the first point is a barrier to entry. The barrier to entry for a single family house is not that difficult as compared to the apartment. For the single family house, there are areas where houses are really cheap. For example, in Baltimore, Maryland, there are houses there that are going for like $20,000. I've had sellers called me that, hey, I want to sell my house for $10,000. So it's easy to get those houses, do a little rehab, and sell those houses or rent them out. And the rent in that area is like it ranges between 700 to like 1,500. So buying a house for 10K, I'm doing some rehab and renting it, it's actually gonna make a lot of profit. So the barrier to entry there, not really difficult. This is opposed to apartment, where I always consider my minimum is like 16 unit. So from 16 unit, if you have a 16 unit and one unit is like 100,000, then if you multiply that by 16, then the bank is going to be asking for 25% or 30% down for you to purchase that property. And it's not only that, they're going to be looking for other stuff for you to be able to qualify to get that property. So the second point is going to be the loan. To get a loan for a single family house is easy than getting a loan for a multi-family property or an apartment. A single family house, you can easily get an FHA loan if it's your first time, or a vet loan. An FHA loan, you can put down 3.5% or 5%, and the vet loan sometimes is even no down payment. Okay, for example, if you want to buy a single family house and you're the first time homeowner, and the property is 100,000 and you're putting only 3.5% down, that is almost nothing. For the veterans, it's like no down payment. So it's actually easy to get that loan. And what they do is most of the time they just look your background, your credit history, and in order to give you that loan. But for the multi-family, in order to get the loan, you have to have a resume. You have to have a resume to be for being an investor. They have to see that you can manage that property, and you have to have a net worth that covers the value of that property. And you have to be able to come up with 25 to 30% down. Sometimes they go to 40% down. And you have to make sure that the property produces enough cash flow that can cover the debt service and also gives you cash flow. So all that is taken into consideration, and most of the multi-unit they are really expensive. So the barrier to entry in that and getting the loan is actually difficult than the single family houses. So the third, we are going to be talking about the occupancy. So as far as the occupancy is concerned, with the single family house, if you have one tenant and the tenant leaves, then you are on zero occupancy. If the tenant leaves, most of the time when the tenant leaves, you have to do painting and carpeting in order to bring another tenant in that property. And sometimes when you even do that little reno, you have to wait for some few months in order to advertise before you get someone that want to come and rent that property or lease that property. During that time, you have to be paying for the mortgage and the utility and all the expenses. Let's say you have your own house and you have that one as the second house. Guess what? you are going to be paying 2 mortgages. And if you have income that can only pay your house, then you're going to default on that property. And if you default for a couple of months, you can foreclose that house and actually lose that property. As opposed to the apartment, where if you have a 20 unit, 5 tenants live or 5 units are vacant, the other 15 tenants are still going to pay the mortgage and they're going to pay the expenses used to get cash flow. So apartment actually it's better as far as the occupancy is concerned. And the next point is going to be management. It's easy to manage an apartment than a single family house. And also it's cheaper to manage an apartment than a single family house. As far as an apartment is concerned, you can just hire a management company. The management company is going to charge you less with large number of units than just a single family house. For a single family house, the management company can charge you 10%. Let's just say your mortgage is $1,000 and your rent is $1,200. If you are paying 10% to the management company, then you'll be making a little or nothing. And guess what? If you are making, let's just say you're making $200, if you multiply that $200 times a year, it's gonna be like $2,400. And if you have a problem with the HVAC is like $5,000, and you go in and fix that thing for $5,000. Guess what? You're on negative almost $2,500 a year. You look technically, if your property doesn't appreciate or something like that, you might be even losing. If you're making only $200 every month, you might think that you're making profit, but you're not making any profit. But on the other hand, when you have an apartment and you have a management company that manage that property at a very low price, like 2% or like 3, 4, 5, or 6%, and the higher the number, the unit, the lower the management fee. The tenants actually pay for the property management. The next point is gonna be scale. It's easy to scale with the apartment than a single family house. If you have a single family house and you increase the rent by $50, it's a $50. $50 is $50. $50 times one tenant is $50. But if you have an apartment and let me say a 20 unit, and you increase rent by $50, that's 50 times 20. If you have 100 unit, it's gonna be 50 times 100. So you have increased your income that month with $50 times 100 tenants. So it's easy to scale with the apartment and than the single family house. And for the apartment, since I came to the United States and all the apartment, and based on my research with all the apartment, I've never seen someone that stayed in their apartment and the lease ends and they reduce the rent. No, they always increase the rent. So anytime your lease expires, they increase your rent. So with the apartment, they increase it with no problem. They don't care. But with the single family house, if you have only one tenant, emotionally, you might be thinking that if I increase his rent, he's going to leave. But for the apartment, they have 100 tenants. If they increase and if one leaves or 2 leaves or even 5 leaves, it's not going to affect the productivity of that apartment. So that is why it's easy to scale with the apartment than the single family house. Another point is tax write-off. With apartment, you have a code where from the IRS where you can write off taxes and do a cost segregation and depreciate everything from like the foundation to the roof to everything that has been replaced, or you do cost segregation and you write up a lot of money as far as taxes are concerned. But with a single family house, when the bank knows that you buy it to live inside the house, then you don't have that leverage to actually do that cost depreciation like the apartment. Apartment has a huge tax depreciation advantage over a single family house. Overall, investing in single family houses or apartment is still a good way in making money. I've seen so many people that are millionaires or they have hundreds of millions of dollars that have invested in single family houses, have a lot of single family houses that they bought, that they are collecting rent, that have appreciated. They have a lot of equity, that they have pulled out the equity and they use it investing in other businesses, or they pull out the equity and invest in an apartment, and they are making money in both the single family house and the apartment. And I've seen billionaires and millionaires that own apartment complexes, or that they have raised capital from individuals and buy apartment and share cash flow to all their investors and make a bunch of money out of it. So the thing is, do not stay there and be thinking that, should I invest in single family house? Should I invest in multifamily property or apartment? Pick one and take action. You're gonna make money. Even if you start with the single family house and then you build some resume, get some knowledge, and get some capital, you can actually move to the multifamily or apartment. For me, I didn't start with a single family house. I just jumped into the 16 unit apartment, and I'm looking to buy a bigger apartment. I'm looking to raise capital and get bigger apartment. So I just want to scale. I just want to skip the single family line and scale. But if you don't have that opportunity, the network or the money to start with the apartment, you can start with the single family house. Don't let anything keep you because you're saying that real estate is expensive. Real estate will keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. So the earlier you buy now and just keep making money, the better for you. With this, I think investing in single family house or multi-family house or apartment is still a very good thing. So just jump into it, take action, and start investing today, and you're gonna get the fruit of your labor. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to this channel for more real estate video. Let's roll.